Hey guys, good morning. Hope all is good. Um, Glad you enjoyed my last video. We talked about Proposition 15, so check that out on my timeline, my feed. If sorry, it's a little distracting. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, I am taking some time to go over all the California state propositions for you, and I'm trying to post them on my timelines, on my feeds. Also, I'm trying to show off this sweet new beard. Hey. But anyway, so I got my handy dandy voter's guide. This is for California, so if you're not in California, sorry. I'm not going to talk about any federal stuff, just state stuff. I'm not going to talk about any politicians, not my thing right now. But I do think it's interesting to go through the propositions. California has 14 to 25. Those are the numbers. We have a lot of propositions. I just went over 15, which was interesting. Hopefully that helped you if you enjoyed it. And I had some folks request that I do another proposition. So I decided to do Proposition 14. 1, 4. 1, 4. Proposition 14 is an interesting one. Proposition 14, I got some, so you have notes, is about stem cell research. This one's really interesting, and there's some links that I found in my research that I will hopefully put in the comments for you. Just depends if I have time. But you can Google this stuff yourself. This is Proposition 14. It authorizes bonds continuing stem cell research. It's an initiative statute. So this was put on by, I believe, put on the ballot by, actually, I'm sure of it, put on the ballot by voter signature, right? It's a proposition that was, it's an initiative that was not created by the legislature for the people to vote on. It was created by a group of people who have a special agenda. I know that's a strong word, but I'm going to go with it. Their agenda is to get billions of dollars in tax revenue to their pet projects and their research. So this says that it authorizes, this is what I'm reading, 5.5 billion in state obligation bonds to fund grants for the California Institute of Regenerative Medicine. It's a nonprofit. Okay, so that's actually an institute. It's actually a government. No, it's a nonprofit, but it's funded by the government. So, and it was created by the government from Proposition 71 years ago in 2004. So anyway, this is a part 2 of a proposition. I don't want to get ahead of myself and it gets confusing. But essentially, there's a guy, okay, and I don't have his name right now. I'll find it. I think I had it researched here on my other computer. But there's a guy who created Proposition 71, and he's not even a scientist, but he's a guy who thought it'd be a great idea, and he had a lot of political connections and made money in real estate. He put millions of dollars into creating an initiative to get bonds created so that he could get billions of dollars to help fund this organization and hire all these people to be scientists to try to stop diseases and find cures, which is great. So Proposition 71 was put in play in 2004. That the voters approved that, and it ran out of money. So now they're coming back to the table for more money. And I believe that was, how many billions was that? It was $3 billion. So anyway, this is an amendment, or I'm sorry, this is a statute that will allow the state to sell bonds. And what is a bond? You can Google it, but the Treasury of California has a cool little breakdown of what bonds are. Bonds are essentially debts. So they're like, what do you call it? It's IOUs. So the state can sell the IOUs to interested parties, and the state has to, it's basically like stock, right? So they're getting payments, they're getting money. For revenue, they spend the money and then they have to pay it back. That's debt. So currently, California hasn't paid off a number of bonds that have been approved over the last 20 years. And this is also a 30-year bond as well. So it means that they can sell them for 30 years and continue doing this if Proposition 14 is approved. So to make a long story short, this is creating more debt. And right now, California has, if you look it up, I've looked this up, 80 billion dollars worth of bonds that are unpaid paid back. So there's $80 billion of debt. This would add $5.5 billion of debt just in the beginning, and then it would add another $3.5 billion in debt to pay for the interest. Okay, so if you're not a big tax and spend person, if you don't want the state to go into further debt, then this is not for you. But if you think that the state should go into debt and sell more bonds to fund research, then this is for you. It's the choice is yours, right? Red pill, blue pill. One last thing I'll say on this is this in Proposition 71, part one of this is part two. It's funded by the same guy. So if you go, most of it. So if you go in and you check the website that says who's given what to the propositions, there's one gentleman who is funding this. He's given $4 million of his own money to get this to pass. He's pretty much paying for it himself. Why is he wanting to do this? Well, he gets a $3 million salary being the head of this organization. So if you vote yes on this, and it's verifiable, I'm not making this up, the money's going to go right to a person in his pocket, state money, and it's not necessarily needed. Now, there's a lot of research federally happening on stem cell. It's a thing that's going on right now, so it's something that we really don't need to do, in my opinion. But I mean, that's I'm not telling you how to vote. But also what it will do is it will create billions of dollars of debt for California to pay back in the future. And who pays that back? If you live in California, you. So there you go. So that's Proposition 14. You can check it out on the internets. And if you have your handy dandy guide, basically there's some cool little graphs on how the revenue is spent. But essentially, they blew $3 billion in grants and bonds. These people, 50 people working on this project, and only 3, and this is verifiable. The LA Times actually said no on it. There's a lot of newspapers that think it's crazy. San Francisco Chronicle, I believe, you'll have to fact check me on that, said it's a bad deal. But when Proposition 71 passed in 2004, here we are again, like 16 years later, only 3 inventions or 3 breakthroughs came from all of the billions of dollars that were submitted to the federal government, and none of them were approved for the general public to be used. So whoever's working on this in California, maybe they need to get some better advice. Anyway, so that's Proposition 14. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to try to do a few more as we get down to the wire. Hopefully I can get them all done. Just depends on how much time you have and I have. But thanks for watching. If you enjoy it, please like it, share it. Love your comments. If you think I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong and help me out. I want to learn. This is part of my learning process. So thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.